Hey, hi everyone. Welcome back to Skills for Chasers. So I hope all of you have been enjoying the videos that I've been sharing for Power BI, Tableau, and Excel. So in this video, continuing to our Power BI series, so today we will be solving or doing an exercise over here. Now in this exercise, what we will be doing is we will be focusing on the aspects of data cleaning. We will be talking about unpivoting the data, choosing the right chart, and then we'll also talk about the differences between clustered column chart versus a stacked column chart. And over here, I will also give you certain tips and tricks around PL-300 certification. So if you all are planning to do a PL-300 certification, so one or two questions which we are going to solve in this exercise are going to be there around it. So having said that, so let's jump onto the exercise and let's start solving it together. So you can all download this dataset from the description box below. Hello everyone, we will have a look around the data that we are going to use in this exercise. So we have the data regarding the car sales. So this is an Excel file that we will be using up over here. In this file, we are given the data that how many cars were sold across the different years in the different countries. And with respect to countries, we are also given the regions, like, which country belongs to which particular region. So which you can also call it as a continent. Now, one thing you will all observe on this data set is that in this data, we do not have the data in the right structured format. You can see there are some headers given over here. If you will see, if I will just unhide these columns, there are some, you know, the hidden columns over here which do not have any values inside them. So all in all, this data is not in the right shape the way we have used any of the other data sets in the previous exercises. You can also see there are some headers and subheaders as well. So to start off with, we know that once we start doing this activity, we will have to spend a lot of time on the data cleansing. So like we all have seen everyone, the data over here in this Excel file is not something which is in a clean format. So we will have to spend some time, first of all, to clean this data. And that's exactly what the objective of this exercise as well is. So let's first of all open a Power BI desktop and let's start loading this data up over there. So here we are on the Power BI desktop. The first step will be we click on Excel workbook since the data is in an Excel file, and we'll go to that path where this file is saved. And here we have the car sales data. So in this Excel file, there are two sheets, like one is PC sales. This is the sheet where we have the data, and the sheet is sheet one. So this is just an extra sheet that we have in that file. So I will be checking this box of sheet one. So see, when you select the sheet itself, you all will observe that we can see that, there are in the preview itself, we will be able to see that there are a lot of issues that we are going to have in this data. And so directly what we can do is we will, because we know that we have to spend some time on the cleaning of it. So instead of loading it and then going to the transformation, I can straightforward click on transform data. So when we click on transform data, we will notice a new window will open up, which is Power Query. So here we are on the Power Query window. And as we can see that we have a lot of blank columns that have been loaded. We can see the rows are in a very bad shape. So all of you, if you are going to appear for a PL-300 certification, over there also you will see what Microsoft does. They give you a small snippet of a bad data, and then they will give you certain options. Now, because PL-300 is a purely MCQ based examination, So what will they do is they will give you some jumbled up steps and they will ask you that if you have to do the cleaning of this data, what should be your first step, second step, third step, fourth step. So you will have to arrange all those steps in the correct sequence so that the data can be brought into a structured format. So taking the example over here, like I know, first of all, I need to get rid of some blank rows. So can I say remove rows? And over here, we will say remove blank rows. So what blank rows does, all of you, it will remove only those rows which are fully blank. There should not be any data in that entire row. We can see still there are two rows from the top are not removed because when we saw in the Excel, we could see that there was some headers and subheaders as well. And how can we get rid of these two rows? We can simply come to the remove rows. And over here, I can click on remove top rows. And we will pick two. So we will remove the top two rows from here. And now we can see the headers that we want that has at least now reached to the top layer. Now, because once the headers that we have for the data, if they have at least reached to the first row, so what I can do now is I can click on this option of use first row as headers. So when I will click on use first row as headers, my headers will be sorted. So we can see regions, countries, all the headers are now coming nicely over here. So I can still see there are a lot of blank columns. So all of you, a quick question to all of you. How will you identify if that entire column is blank or it has some values into it? So if you see over here, this line over here, okay, this line, if this line is fully black, black color indicates that there are null values. If there is any portion of the color which is green or red, green color signifies that there are some valid values and red color signifies that there are some errors in it as well. But over here, we can see these are purely black. There is one value which is present over here. So what we can do is we can select these three columns. You can take the help of control. You can press control on your keyboard and then select the columns one by one. So once you have selected these columns, I'm going to say, let's remove these columns. Now we have removed the columns. We have removed the unwanted rows. Let's, browse through it. If we have any more, oops, we can see we have a couple of more blank columns in the last. So which are purely blank. So maybe, once in that Excel file, it could have happened that there were some values in the last and Power BI has captured all the rows in between also. So what we can do is let's get rid of these extra columns in the last. A quick shortcut to do this. If you select the first column, now you don't need to select the columns by pressing Control key one by one. First, you select the first column. You will scroll to the extreme right, and then you can press Shift and then select the last column. So once you select the first column, Shift the last column, everything in between is going to be selected for you. So once we have selected these columns, I can click on remove columns and we can get rid of these columns as well. So here we can see the data now looks in a more structured manner, like the way we started it. And now we have reached to a point where the data looks really, really better as compared to the previous case. But looking on this data, do we have any further issues that you can identify? If you have already seen my past video of pivoting and unpivoting, I'm sure those people will be able to answer it. And if you have not seen that video, you can quickly go back and watch that video on the pivoting and unpivoting, which is one of the most important topic, which helps you convert a human readable data into a machine readable data. So if we see over here, everyone, we can see the problem that we have is each year is given to us in a separate column. So for a machine readable data, one type of data should be in one column. All the years should be in one column. All the sales should be in one column. But here we can see all the years are given to me in each different column over here. So when you have a data like this, what we have to do is we have to do unpivoting. Unpivoting means selecting multiple columns and bringing them into the rows. So I'm going to select the first year, 2005. And then I will use the same technique, which we just learned a couple of seconds back. Shift, and we will select the last year. So we can see all the years have been selected, I can right click on any of this year and you will see the option of unpivot columns. So if you click over here on unpivot columns, you will see the data is unpivoted. All the years are in one column and the sales of the cars are in another column. So technically what has happened is your number of columns have reduced, your rows have increased, and that's how you should always have your machine readable data as well. So now I can rename the column. This is my column of year. And then we can call this as car sales. And rest we can have a quick glance around the data. If anything else that needs any correction into it, we can see the spelling of countries are wrong. So let's make it correct. So we have corrected the spelling and now everything looks good. So we are good to load this data finally. So what we'll do now is we will be clicking on close and apply so that this data gets loaded into the Power BI desktop. So here we can see the data has been loaded. And now on the right hand side, we can see our data pane where all the fields can be seen. So what we will do is if I expand this now, see, we just have 4 columns: region, country, year, and car sales. And probably if we think of any analysis also, we can only do country-wise analysis or we can do some yearly analysis. So first of all, we will be creating a map over here, all of you. So map is a geographical analysis. So if you click on this map visual, so I clicked on this one. This is a map that I'm going to use in this. So for creating this map, I can drag countries on the location. And if we scroll down, we will see an option of bubble size and we can drag car sales on the bubble size. So when you drag car sales on the bubble size, now what will happen is the country which sold more cars. So this data will be for all the years that we have collected in this. So the countries which have sold more cars will have bigger bubble. The countries which have sold less number of cars will have a smaller bubble. So we have a bunch of countries in this. So that's where the chart took a bit of a while. So here we can see this is the map that we have got. So we have the countries all across the globe. So here we have China, we can see India. So when it comes to the overall years, we can see the cars have been sold drastically high in China, in United States, India, right? So we can see how the cars have been sold. If we want to add some extra information in this, all of you, what we can do is we can take the help of legend. So see, every country belongs to some region. So what I can do is if I drag region on the legend, so you will notice the color of the bubbles will change. So depending upon which region that country belongs to, we will get a different color for that. So here we can see these are all American countries. Here we have orange ones are all Asian countries. We have purple ones, which are European countries. The next analysis that I would like to do over here is I would like to understand how the car sales have changed over the years. So we are going to pick a column chart. So this is a typed column chart that we are picking up over here right now. So if I click on this chart and I drag year on the x-axis, and we can drag car sales on the y-axis. So we can see how the cars have been sold over the years. Now, a very important point, all of you, whenever you have years as a part of your analysis, the chart should always be sorted by years or it should be sorted by months. So whatever time period you have, so technically the data should be treated as a continuous data and it should be sorted as per the fields of date or time that are given to you. So if I click over here on the 3 dots, I will say I would like to sort this chart on the basis of year. And plus what we will do is we will also ensure the sorting should be by year. And then sorted by year in ascending order. So now here we can see now that over the years, definitely we can see the car sales have increased, right? So as the years have passed, so we could see that in 2008 and 9, right, there was slightly not much change, and in fact, car sales went a little down. Probably the reason was because there was the financial breakdown that had happened, right? We had a recession during those years, so maybe the people didn't have the capacity to buy the new cars. So that's why we could see the number of cars sold remain stagnant around those 2 years. But yes, after that, when the market got stabilized, we could see the car sales have increased. Now, in this chart, suppose let's bring the region as well. So if I bring region in the legend, so you will see each year the chart will break by region. So here we can see how the cars were sold across the different regions. And a very interesting takeaway from here would be that we can see that the orange color is something which has grown over the years. That means the share of orange color, which is Asia, the market share of Asia in terms of cars being sold has increased over the years, which it has also remained consistent for America, and we can see it has little bit declined for Europe. And definitely Africa has been on the lower side of selling the cars. Now, see this chart, everyone, that we have created, this is your cluster, this is your stacked column chart. See, in the stacked column chart, what happen is the things are stacked one above the another. So one region is above the another, then above the another. If I want, if I make a copy of this chart, so we just made a copy of this chart. And what I will do is I'm going to convert this chart into a clustered column chart. See, when you create this same chart into a clustered, now see, understand the difference, all of you, between a clustered and a stacked. See, clustered doesn't give you the overall total. Like if you see this is a clustered chart, I cannot identify easily that, okay, in which year the total sales were more. Because in clustered, what is happening is for each year, we have got 4 separate bars for 4 different regions. Okay. Whereas if you take a look at the stacked one, since the things are one above the another, we can observe that it is also showing me the overall total. So typically, if your, objective is you want to analyze total as your primary analysis and breakup as your secondary analysis, you should go with a stacked column chart. But if total is not your prime criteria, because see in this stacked column chart, what happen is when the values are very nearby to each other, like you can see over here for Europe and Asia, by looking at it, you cannot quickly identify in which region we had more sales. Whereas over here, when you come at 2007, it's quite evident that Europe had sold more cars in 2007 as compared to Asia. So in this, total is having a better view. Over here, between the categories is something which is having a better view. So depending upon what is the overall outcome you are aiming at, you should take a call whether to go with a stack chart or with a cluster chart. So here we can see the analysis have been done. We have made 2 charts. We have done some data cleansing. We have also derived some inferences that the market share of Asia has increased over the years and car sales have been increasing over the years, which we have identified from this data. So that would be all, everyone, for this video. So please do a full hands-on, and better, you can play this video on your televisions and keep the laptop in your lap. And yes, keep practicing it. And you can please increase or decrease the speed depending upon your familiarity with the tool. So thanks everyone for watching this video. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.